Hey, welcome, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign to 2024 January. It's a positive month full of really positive developments for each of us in our lives. One of the sweetest months of 2024. And I'm excited to tell you about how this energy might really help glow you up with a bit of pennies from heaven, maybe a bit of a windfall coming through in January, some success with travel opportunities, as well as a feeling of really becoming more deeply connected and stabilized in the sense of an identity that you're really trying to create for yourself in 2024. Also, friends and allies and benefactors really supporting you in January. People want to help you. So let's talk about what that looks like. Number one, let's talk about the beginning. Oh, before I talk about the story in chronological order, let me mention one thing. My only promotion I want to share with you here of any great importance is my 2024 All Signs videos are for sale in January. At the end of January, they go off sale. So $77 is now value is now down to $59 for this month. It's also in December. It's going to be 90 videos that are 90 minutes long times 12, one for each sign. So you can buy the bundle, listen for your sun, moon, and rising, give it away as a stocking stuffer. It's a PDF with links to hidden videos, and you can share that PDF with anybody you want and share with all your friends and family. So that's my offer for an investment of $59 in the description box, or buy the a la carte $25 videos for your sign. But why not get the whole bundle? Because you can listen for sun, moon, and rising and share with others. Let's go ahead and talk about your month ahead. And by the way, I am Lori Lothian, and I'm using the Western Tropical Zodiac and whole sign houses. And so I'd make 25 to 30 videos a month. And if you like all signs content, which all of my stuff usually is, then don't forget to try me, like me, subscribing, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss a thing when I put new content out. Now, big deal energy. Jupiter is the Lord of your sign, and he is direct. He was retrograding since September, and it may have felt difficult for you because when he's backwards, you're backwards. When he's on pause, you're on pause. He's been in the sign of Taurus ever since last May, and he will leave at the end of this May. And this retrograde September through to December 30th. I'm going to put you kind of in a pause mode around getting engagement with your online world, social media platforms, writing projects, siblings, cousins and nephews and nieces, no, siblings mostly, cousins, things to do with your local neighborhood, or travel or learning opportunities, but also maybe just a feeling that everything that you had as a good idea that you might have wanted to execute kind of stalled out a bit on you. Jupiter draws back the bow from the third house of communication, and he's going to now go forward. So now your writing projects go forward, your creative online social media website stuff goes forward, your trips and plans go forward, your neighborhood plans go and neighbors go forward, your sibling relationships go forward, and all of that. So there's this nice swish forward coming, and it's all through January and into the end of May. And this is the beginning of that fresh start feeling. Now, also you have this experience perhaps with Jupiter here because of Uranus, of coming up with brilliant new ideas last year, but you didn't quite get downloads that you really wanted to keep. And maybe now some downloads will consolidate and you'll sort of wheat from the chaff. What are your great ideas that you really want to hold on to that are profound and original and amazing? Some of you Pisces may feel that's true. Now we want to talk about the chronology of the month, and I'm going to go through each single thing as it goes through the sky in the order it happens. Number one, we have an energy in the beginning of the story on December 31st into January 1st of a very strong square energy between Venus at the top of your sky, career and reputation, squaring Saturn in the house of you. There's definitely a feeling around the very end of December and the first couple of days of January that you are feeling a tension and a constriction around your career, your reputation, around how the world sees you, how you are successful or not. And you may feel there's some hardship in this part of your sky. You may feel defeated or deflated or just anxious around that time. Or maybe you're trying to get a job and you don't have it, or you're trying to define your career in a certain way, but it's not really showing up in the way you wanted to see it happen. Or maybe you have some hard work you need to do and it's getting in the way of the fun of your New Year's Eve and the day after celebrations. Then as we move forward past that very short but challenging transit, we're going to experience something like this. A very positive mini grand trine as Mars in Capricorn, where he enters in your 11th house on January 3rd. By the time we get to the 8th to the 15th, that Mars exalted in your 11th house of good spirit flows to Jupiter in your third house, bringing you travel opportunities, bringing you pennies from heaven or some financial luck connected to third house matters, things you would do in your local neighborhood. Or things that connect to siblings, younger and older, that are very positive for you between the 8th and the 15th. Now, it's also forming a sextile, Mars to Saturn, as well as Jupiter forming a sextile to Saturn, making it a triangle, forming a little mini trine, forming a point at you. So you're at the tip of this triangle, and you're going to experience this again later in the month. This is going to happen twice in a different way. You are kind of holding the tip of a positive experience in your beingness. You are like Saturn. You're like reliable, sober-minded, serious, sage-like kind of energy. You're becoming more Saturnian. You want to bring your dreams into reality with Neptune there through to 2026 and make them tangible and real. And all of a sudden, the sky's agreeing with you in January 8th to the 15th. Mars in this flow from the 11th house can be favors from friends or brothers or sisters, but it's Mars. So brothers who are older, we call them the, elder sibling house, the 11th, or allies, male allies, or people who want to support you are showing up in your story on the 8th to the 15th in January, and you're receiving that assistance, or you're increasing your gains in your career and you're receiving the enjoyment of that. Or you could even have an unexpected financial bonanza, especially after January 23rd, and you're receiving that financial windfall. We'll get to that part later, the money part. And also because Jupiter is a travel energy, sometimes fly the friendly skies, Mr. International, and the third house is travel. This could be an opening for a travel opportunity that you didn't expect, but you're really receiving in a positive way. It's connected to career gains or wishes come true or favors from friends. And that is, again, the 8th to the 15th of the month. But more importantly, and as importantly, is that Mars is rising into his visible sky. It's called a heliacal rise of a planet. And he rises around 5 Capricorn on the 11th of January, and we haven't seen him rise here in your 11th house since 1977 January. And this is like, if you go back to 1977 January to January of 79, you can compare that to what's about to happen. January of 2024 to January of 26. Similar themes are happening as Mars exalts you in Capricorn, sign of its exaltation, rises to the visibility. You rise in great career gains, some pennies from heaven and money luck stories, in social groups of belonging, in larger social circles and enjoyment of your friends, in things to do with favors from people in power in high places. So these things get larger for you and expand over the 2 years that follow. Very good for career in general as well. 11th house is the house that are the rewards of your 10th house of visible career. And so this is an exciting story, and this rising is going to influence you not just in January, but over the next 2 years. Next, we want to move into the next part of the story, which is on the 20th, 21st, depending on where you live. Pluto is going to join with the sun in Capricorn at 29 degrees. This has been happening since 2008. It's the last Pluto-Sun conjunction in Capricorn in your 11th house of good spirit, completing a path, climbing the mountain to the top of a purpose that connected to 11th house matters. For some of you, it's going to be a culmination regarding a purpose, career direction, or the ending of a longer range goal or plan that you've held, or a dream or wish for your life. And as that is coming to a culmination, or it could be the death of a elder sibling who's male. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but Pluto, solar figure, male, elder sibling, Pluto. But anyway, that would be around the 2021st. Now, don't worry about you're 18, your brother's 20. It probably isn't that. And then this energy goes into your 12th house. Pluto moves into your 12th house, 21, 22 of the month. I mean, it all depends on your time zone. And Pluto begins a new story for the next 20 years, helping you open up to 12th house themes, enlightenment, moksha, spiritual liberation, money and wealth from foreign shores and foreign lands, international revenue, basically. I mean, it's something that can really uplift your finances over the next 20 years if you are dealing with foreign companies, international companies, foreign lands, or foreign shores. Okay. It just pushes you up a whole notch to a greater level of power and wealth. This is really a good time as well with this transit for just in January, the sun and Pluto are together. So between the 21st, 2nd, and the 24th, 5th, it's a really good time for really establishing a deeper connection to your own soul, and what it is you really wish to do on planet Earth is more meaningful for you. You might just have a kind of a divine download around that time. So as we move into the next story, and don't forget, Pluto was touching base with your 12th house last year. What kinds of weird enlightenment-y or foreign lands, foreign shore revenue things were picking up for you, especially with payment processors these days, last March, April, May into mid-June, third week of March into mid-June. That was a testing of what this could be about for you. Then as we move forward in the month, we get to a kind of loosey-goosey sextile between Jupiter and Saturn. It almost perfects, but they never quite make a perfect sextile or 60-degree connection. And that 24th to the 31st, indeed into February, is something like Jupiter's trying to give you a travel opportunity, a learning opportunity, an online success story, some writing project success, some communication project success, skills-based learning, travel success. And Saturn you're Saturn, right? Saturn's in the house of you. You want to fortify that. You want to make it real. You want to make it tangible. You want to make it structured, but something's not quite gelling yet. So expect some frustration there between the 24th and the 31st on those matters. Close, but not quite. Good, but not great. And then moving into the 25th to the 28th, we have some tension in the sky. Mercury will conjunct Mars in your 12th house. That can be good for negotiating contracts, planning a trip, going on a trip to negotiate a deal making trips and travel, passionate decisions and actions taken around contracts, deals, and negotiations and agreements, particularly when it comes to foreign countries, foreign shores, or career gains, okay, from foreign places. And that is happening around the 25th to the 28th. But then there's a square to the nodes of fate. Ooh, the nodes of fate, south node and north node of the moon. North node in the house of earnings, expanding your earnings. You've been feeling earnings wounded since 2019. That doesn't complete out until I think 2026 as a Chiron transit. And you're definitely feeling this, tension there about I'm not making money, I don't have enough money, I'm not worth my own money, I don't have self-worth, I don't know what's going on there, but you got it going on. And here we have the North Node in Chiron receiving that square energy from that conjunction of Mars and that conjunction of Mercury. And, squaring also the South Node in your chunky money of investment savings, inheritances, and all those other kinds of longer term treasure chest monies. So it looks like it's you having a financial pressure point, like a money crunch coming through. And, Mercury and Mars, did I say in the 11th house of good spirit? If I didn't, I hope I did. They're up there in the house of allies, benefactors, big siblings that want to help you, and greater career gains and financially as well. And so there's just come like what feels like, that feels tough on your money story. You're feeling constrained or stressed. You're feeling stressed, but it's very destined around the 25th to the 28th. And it has a happier ending because then on the 28th to 30th, Mercury moves a little further into Capricorn and it gets the 19th degree of Capricorn and flows to Uranus in the third house. A sudden exciting travel opportunity, a sudden exciting development in the online world. Something could go viral on you. A sudden exciting development in the house of siblings that benefit you in a great financial way. So that some kind of sweet breakthrough, unexpected, exciting coming through from the grid of the 25th to the 28th, which feels like a lot of money pressure. You kind of fly into some kind of more successful energy. And with Jupiter sitting with Uranus, it could really be quite exciting, quite bounteous, quite prosperous as well on the 28th to the 30th of January. Now, I told you earlier we had 2 mini grand trines. Well, the second mini grand trine is going to happen on the 27th to the 29th of the month as Venus now takes over where Mars started. So Mars was the one who created, as he rose, as he's exalted, between the 8th and the 15th of January, there's this whole yum energy going on, creating flow between Mars and Jupiter. Mars in your 11th house of good spirit, Jupiter in your third house. Of the goddess. And now Venus follows up. And Venus is like luck. Venus is goodness. Venus is wealth and prosperity, especially in refined Capricorn. And she flows to Jupiter. So you could experience some kind of breakthrough in some kind of career path in which there's a raise, a gain, a promotion, an up level of exposure, a little bit of being seen in the world, especially with Jupiter being the third house god, maybe having some kind of uplift in your online presence or in your website development or in your podcast or something like that. Also, a female can be active in supporting some of your longer range plans for prosperity, wealth, or travel as this energy unfolds, especially a female who acts like an elder sibling, allying with you on your behalf to make something good happen on the 27th to the 29th, 30th of the month. Did I get those dates right? 27th, 28th, 29th. Yeah. I did. And at the same time, Mercury is going to be sextiling Uranus. So it's all one big yay moment in the sky. And I kind of would also add to that Venus in Capricorn. Let's talk about Venus and let's talk about Mercury separately, okay? Let's start with Mercury and then let's go to Venus. Mercury will go direct on January 2nd. He will have been retrograding for 3 weeks in your house of your career. Maybe you heard from old colleagues, you know, in the 3 weeks before January 2nd, old bosses, old employers, old work people, or things from your past work past have come back to you, or you've had to go back and renegotiate those work and career things. But then on January 2nd, Mercury does go direct and stays in you at 22 degrees of Sag, and then goes forward until the 13th of January, really quickly in your 10th house. So things finally get forward direction. You get the contract, you get the job, you get you get a call back. They finally say they got your resume. You get a deal. Things are moving forward. Deal making is moving forward, especially in regards to context deals and negotiations, career and reputation stories during that window of January 2nd to the 13th. Then on the 13th, Mercury moves into Capricorn. That's your 11th house of good spirit, where it's going to be hanging out with both Mars and Venus. And that's also really good for emails, phone calls, and negotiations for greater career gains, and also from people who are benefactors and allies who act like big siblings. And he'll be there from January 13th until February the 4th. But here's the cool part. Venus herself, when we go back to Mercury in Sagittarius, January 2nd, direct motion, to the 13th, Venus catches up. And on December 29th to January 23rd, she's also in your 10th house. So Venus in your 10th house, December 29th to January 3rd is ask for the raise, ask for the promotion. The bosses love you. You're lucky in work. You're prosperous in work. You're up-leveled in work. You're visible and successful, because if you have to be visible, it's the best place is Venus up there. And people are liking you and you're popular and appealing. And Mercury's with her, but in that same place between January the 2nd as a direct motion planet and January 13th. So Venus is super glowing up how good it can get in business deals, negotiations, contracts, and success for you between January 2nd and 3rd. But then on January 13th, as you know, Mercury moves into your 11th house of good spirit, Venus is tracking behind him, and she gets in there on January 23rd. That means they're together from January 23rd to February the 4th in your 11th house of good spirit. And that's because, you know, I told you she will trine Jupiter and sextile Mars later on in the month. And so this energy, the January 23rd to February 4th, is good for the following things. January 23rd to February 4th. It's good for pennies from heaven, windfalls, unexpected bounty. It's good for having social enjoyment with people you really want to hang with that are your people. It's good for reaching into the public or influencing larger groups of people in ways that are easy and successful. It's good for maybe traveling with friends because of Mars here during that window of time. Again, I said it was January 13th, January 23rd to February 4th. And sometimes, you know, the 11th house can be about joining groups, and you may join a group of belonging during that window of January 23rd to February 4th, you know, and become a part of a group that you really, Mercury, like to socialize with, right? Joining a new group of belonging, a book club, a curtain club, a yoga studio, I don't know, any kind of group that you now affiliate with. All right, so those are really positive stories for you. And I wish you the very, very best in 2024, January. Is there anything else I want to tell you? Well, the best news is that the Lord of your sky is going direct in your 3rd house in a flowing sextile to you. And I think you're going to just feel better about yourself. You're going to feel more self-worth, more ease in your body, better health as well, just coming to a more stable sense of self all through the month of January, actually into the end of February, May of 2024. So that's exciting developments for you. A lot of you, when Jupiter goes into your 4th house next May, may move into a bigger, bounteous, more prosperous home. And that could be anytime between May of 2020. Well, let's just say June of 2024 to 25. That's a whole exciting Jupiter and Gemini video that I haven't created yet, but it's coming up for 2024. So you Pisces, it can definitely bounty up your home and home life and give you a bigger, more prosperous or exciting or global home even. Who knows? We'll see what happens. All right, I think we're done. And if you are wanting to join my Patreon community, I have an ethical bribe if you want to try me out. It's going to be $5 investment to try me out for a month at the lowest tier. That includes one Zoom call with me. There's up to 3 depending on your tier. But to try me out, the ethical bribe I'm giving you, or the lure, is 3 free courses with me worth $33 in value. Synastry, Are You My Person? A Synastry course for relationship astrology. And Chiron, the Key to Purpose. And those classes have been taught, but you can watch the replay. And finally, you can also get my new course that's coming out at the end of January live to take it with me, which is Chiron Life Cycles course. And then if you miss it or can't attend, you still get the replay. So if you want to try me out anytime in December, January, and then unsubscribe afterwards, that's fine. But it's just an ethical bribe for $5 investment minimum tier to see if you like the community I am creating over in Patreon, which I find more and more enjoyable because I get to be in small Zoom groups with you guys and get to know you and have conversations about astrology in ways I can't do on a broadcast platform like YouTube. So some of you Pisces, I hope you come over and join us. Thanks for listening. I hope 2024 is an absolutely amazing time for you. I don't think I forgot anything that I need to think of. There's one more tip for you. I didn't include this for all signs, but you got Neptune in the house of you, and that's 2011 since then. And there's a square to Mercury. I'll give you a heads up. On the 8th and 9th of January, be careful about communication from a friend or an elder sibling, because it may not be what you see is what you get. You may have to really parse that and inspect it. It could be a little bit deceptive. And, there's an attempt to pull some wool over your eyes. And if that happens on the 8th and 9th, just inspect that communication very carefully. It may ring to you of untruth. Email, phone call, anything like that. All right, take care. I'm wishing you the very best, Pisces, in 2024 January. Now I have to say goodbye. Take care.